Hello and welcome to Warcraft Daily for today, the 26th of June 2013. In today's news we have Season 14 Priest Armor Preview, it's from MMO Champion, 50% off the Moonkin Hatchling, Arena Pass rewards, blue tweets, and the 5.3 hotfixes, which include some interesting nerfs to Throne of Thunder. So to kick off the news, there is a preview over on MMO Champion of the Season 14 Priest Armor. It looks pretty damn cool, I think. I like the sort of dark angelic wings that they have going on. I think it'll look pretty sinister as Shadow Priest, so overall I think, yeah, they've done a pretty good job. So the next thing is a sale for the pet store. There's 50% off the Moonkin Hatchling, that brings it down to about $5, £4, probably €5 as well. Of course, you know, I would recommend you don't buy this because you're paying microtransactions for a subscription game, which I think is really dumb, and Blizzard should stop being sort of double-dipping bastards when it comes to things like these additional mounts and pets. At least it's cosmetic, and I don't think Blizzard would ever go past that, so I suppose I have some respect for them in that regard. So the next thing is the Arena Pass reward. Now this is actually a microtransactionist thing that I'm pretty cool with. So the Arena Pass, you pay like, I think 10, 12, 15 bucks, whatever, and you get to go into the Arena season. It's like a special server, you get gear, you can do Arena with your friends. Now the rewards have not changed since last year. You still get the title if you're top 1000, and if you participate in at least 50 games, you will get the Mercamus's Tiny Spear, which gives you the Mercablo pet, which, I'll be honest, it looks pretty cool, so yeah, if you're into PvP, I'd say definitely check that out. Now the next thing is blue tweets, and there's definitely quite a few of them, and they're pretty good as usual. Really, anything that Ghostcrawler says usually is of interest, as long as you filter out all the bullshit that comes through Twitter. So the first section of things is just for the world in general. Now, they said the reason why Cataclysm pushed players into the cities and away from the world is because all the gear you needed was from the random queue. And that was definitely true. The most efficient way to item level yourself up was just to sit in Stormwind, hit I, hit Q, just continue all friggin' day. It was boring as hell. So there's now way more means of getting gear. You've got like Battlefield Barons, you have a few different like random quest things, PvP's now actually a pretty decent way of getting honor to get justice. Of course you still have the traditional methods of LFR and dungeons, but you know there's loads of quests, there's a lot more to do in the game, certainly, and there's definitely more diversity than there was in Cataclysm. I think this increase in the diversity of things to do will probably give us better player attention than Cataclysm did, because the game really suffered in terms of numbers during Cat, and I think burnout was probably a major reason why that happened. So yeah, I think they're going in a good direction. Now they said that they know the professional catch-up system, that's where miners and herbalists will be able to level up solely in Pandaria. Now this does take people out of the old world. They said they're okay with this since their design philosophy is not to have the low level zones populated with 90s. They want every zone to be populated with players that are suitable to the level of the zone, and I think that's pretty fair. Now one effect this might have is that the number of old world reagents that are in the game will decrease, and these reagents are, as of now, still required for leveling some things, like say smithing. So does this mean that it might be more efficient? You know, the price of these things will go up, so it'll just be more efficient to mine them instead. I'm not sure, and it'll be interesting to see the effect of that on the in-game economy. And the next and final thing they said for this section is that they are absolutely sure the game needs cross realms. Basically, a whole bunch of people, you know, the usual Twitter rage was saying, you know, don't you totally know that everyone hates it? And they were just like, yeah, shut up, it's needed. I think it's a system that's probably still got issues, but they're doing they're doing a better job of getting around them, and I think people need to understand, especially for new players in the game, if you just start off in Northshire Abbey, or, you know, whatever, and the place is empty, you're not going to feel like you're in an MMO, and you're just going to be like, nah, I'm going to go and play SWTOR, or something like, you know, instead. So I think Cross Realms, it's pretty essential actually that we keep every zone as populated as we can, and of course virtual servers is the sort of natural extension of this, and I think it's going to be a very positive system for the game. So next we just have a whole bunch of kind of miscellaneous things. So they said that they think many players think that the Burning Crusade was the best expansion because at the time the mechanics of WoW were still new and shiny. And I think this is actually a very good point, because that was still when WoW's MMO mechanics, so the combat, stuff like that, were new. They were cool, they were exciting. And Burning Crusade did add a lot to the game. You know, dailies were a new thing that sort of not everyone hated. Okay, we all grew to, but whatever. There's that. There's loads and loads of dungeons. They were all, you know, pretty cool. The entire thing was a completely new tile set. It looks stunning. So I definitely think that it was a mixture of the first expansion, them really doing a lot of good work in that expansion, and then just WoW being a new and shiny thing. Although, you know, still I am very nostalgic for stuff like Isle of Keltonas, and I love that expansion, even though I didn't raid or anything during it. So the next thing they talked about is with sort of playstyles. So things like LFR encourage people to log on, do their LFR, and log off. That's a little bit of a problem with, you know, getting players invested and getting retention, because then it just feels more like a job. So Blizzard thinks that the problem though is more one of, you know, people have real life commitments, and I think that if the game didn't cater to people being able to just hop in and hop off, those people wouldn't play the game. You know, you can still have good gear from LFR, you know, air quotes good, it's not that good, but it still, you know, will help you do things. You can still get that gear while not playing a giant amount. Okay, it'll take you quite a while, but I think that's probably vital for keeping more players in the game. If it was something that took 3 hours a day, or 2 hours a day even, to be good at and to be optimal at, people just wouldn't be able to play, and the game would probably suffer in a subscriber standpoint. And one important thing is, for those of us who do play a lot of the game, we need the people who don't play enough, you know, who aren't like us, or, you know, the casuals. We still need them to be subscribed to support the game, to support Blizzard. Now, of course, we don't want Blizzard to be a runaway success, because Blizzard are at their best when they're behind. That's when they innovate. You know, competition breeds innovation, and I think that's definitely true. But still, I think it's important that it caters to that playstyle, just as long as it's not to the detriment of others. So they also said that they agree that there's a current problem with people only playing with their guildies and with randomers. And I definitely agree, they're the only people I play with, and they want more of a server community. I definitely think that's good. I'm going to go into story time here, back into Wrath of the Lich King. On our server, there was this guy, he was a Death Knight, I forget his name, but like every 3 hours during most of the day, he would like start organizing Wintergrasp. Yeah, he'd organize Wintergrasp groups and just do a whole bunch of things, and it was really cool because he brought people together, and he was kind of like a server celebrity in a way. That's not a thing anymore, and it's kind of sad because it was really nice when we had that. Hopefully they'll have more systems that will encourage that sort of thing happening though. The next thing they said is that they're working on reducing player spell effects on bosses to make them more visible. I think that's definitely good, and with the way some boss spell effects themselves are working, the less impeded they are, the better. Cough Duramu. So yeah, that's pretty good. Also, it means players with lower end systems will be able to better differentiate boss mechanics and stuff like that from the sort of giant player spam that we sometimes get. And finally, they said that SWTOR style random groups, which is random groups only being pulled from your own server, would lead to longer wait times, and it would probably piss off more people than it helps, and that's probably true. So that's it for the blue tweets, and the final thing we're going to cover is the 5.3 hotfixes. So first of all, there's been some quick, quest bug fixes. They're not very interesting. I'm not going to cover them. So there's that. For Duramu, the hidden fogs will now be more responsive to combat. And the really good thing here is not good thing. What am I even talking about? Yes, for Duramu. No, not for Duramu. For Horadon. I'm really derping today. The Troll Ad's health has been reduced by 10%, and the damage from their abilities like the Sand Bolts and the Frost Orb have been reduced by 20% on 10-man normal. I don't actually think this is necessary because the fight's already nerfed enough to a point where I think it's fine. But if Blizzard really thinks that, they're the guys with the numbers and the stats, so fair enough. So we ran a little bit over today. Sometimes the blue tweet section has a tendency of doing that to us. So I'm going to wrap up the show. Thank you for watching. Please like if you like, and subscribe if you want to see more. Hint you do. And I'll see you in the next show. Bye.